Hello there everybody, it's early December, so I'm going to take you for a little walk around the garden, show you what we're up to. My name's Georgie Newbery, I'm a flower farmer and florist based between fashionable Bruton and up and coming Wincanton. Do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the clips and press the bell icon and we'll tell you when we've got new clips coming up, and if any of the information I give you is useful, then you can always buy me a coffee, and the coffee link is in the blurb for each of my clips. Right, that's quite enough chat. This lovely spread I made yesterday at my Christmas tablescape demo. So that's another thing you can do if you like, is download you can book on my website and download my wreathing and tablescaping demos if you'd like to learn more about how we do Christmas here at Common Farm in a very foraged and gathered from the garden kind of way. Obviously, it's very important not to leave candles lit when you're not there. So I'm going to blow these out and we're going to go off around the garden. Off we go. Now, when I say in the garden, not everything we're doing at the moment is in the garden. Here are all the dahlia tubers tucked up nicely in, these are called bale arm crates, and you can order them online. They're incredibly useful. So we keep our dahlia tubers sort of still muddy because it seems to protect them quite nicely for us, and stops the mold getting in. And we keep them in here. This is my flower studio. Look, nice picture on the wall to keep us all happy. And we'll keep them in here until April, when I will split them and pop them up and we'll start all over again. Also in the flower studio, here are my Ranunculus, and I've just been sprouting them in here and they're really ready for planting into the polytunnel. So as soon as I've finished all my wreaths, they will go into the tunnel. And look, very, very slowly, here too are the anemones. A bit slower than the Ranunculus, but getting there after all. It's been a bit of a wait, but it's always worth the wait. So these are going to be ready for planting out as soon as I've finished my wreaths. And it's a great time of year to be sorting out your tool handles. So every time I find a tool where the handle's looking like it's about to go, or it's very worn out, or this case, this lovely little rake, tiny little rake head, but the handle suddenly went in my hand. So Fabrizio has made me some new handles. This one is made of hazel, which is lovely, and he's mended it and popped it into the rake head. And this is made of ash. This is an illuminations tool, very keen on illuminations copper tools, and I love an ash handle. It's sort of nice and solid in the hand. Very, very useful, this particular tool, for running little drills, as well as, you can imagine, getting roots out with that. Fabrizio's a keen woodsman, and look, he makes these lovely heads too that we have, including, I call her behind the window the scared lady. And the scared lady's always there somewhere, but we've got to have people, you know. What am I talking about? Anyway, good time of year to replace any handles of your tools. Waste not, want not. Now, we called this patch the pitch by yard, and it looks fairly empty at the moment. But actually there are 6,000 tulips tucked in at the far end, and I'm being very careful about space for next year because we are about to do an enormous rationalisation of the space. We've been flower farming here for 11 years. It'll be 12 years in April. And the farm has grown really organically over the years. Just a little bit space here, a little bit of space there. And because we're very lucky with our space, we've got 7 acres, we've just sort of expanded to fill the gaps. But actually that's made it very, very inefficient. And because I'm teaching so much more, I think it's better. I'm going to really rationalise the space much more efficiently. I'm going to grow the same number of stems. So we grow about 250,000 stems a year, and I'm going to make a clip on how I calculate that, because I think you might like to know. That'll be a winter clip. So we're going to rationalise the space. So I need to be very, very careful that I'm not wasting any space this year, because by the end of it, by this time, December 2022, the whole layout is going to be quite different. I hope, if all goes well. Anyway, we'll see. You've got to put it out there, haven't you? And then perhaps it'll come. If I just think about it and don't say anything, I'm not putting myself under any pressure. But I do love social media, because what it does is it encourages me to kind of declare that I'm going to do X, Y, or Z. And then I feel under pressure to do it. So here comes the bigger rearrangement. Right, on we go. The crab apples this year have been absolutely incredible. We've had virtually no other kind of apples, but the crabbies have been the best ever. And a lot of these are going to be used in a big project I've got lined up for next weekend. But I'm also using them in all my wreaths as they go out, because it's not focusing, because it doesn't know what to focus on. There we are, that's better. You can imagine how these bright red berries look brilliant on a Christmas wreath, and our Christmas wreaths are 100% biodegradable. So let's go for bright red apples. This variety is Red Sentinel, and I'm a very big fan. This time of year it's worth watching out for footprints. I've got a feeling that's a monkjack deer, and it's heading off. It's definitely here, and it's heading off down into the wildflower meadow. We have clips. If you scroll back through the system, you'll find clips of the meadow when it's in full flower. But here it is, asleep in the winter, having a little snooze. This patch here, with the lovely gates, is often to be seen on my Instagram grid early in the morning when it's frosty, because it does make a really lovely photograph with the sun rising over here. We don't get particularly brilliant sunset pictures here because we've got all the trees we've planted are in the way, but we get good sunrise pictures. Anyway, so this patch is called the lady smock because the wildflowers that we have around the edge in sort of April, May are lady smock. They're very beautiful, little delicate pale pink, and we don't exactly have carpets of them, but we have a few. And this patch is supposed to be, I'm always defragging the garden, so nothing stays the same, but it is ideally, it is perennials and shrubs, which is why it has a sort of herbaceous border look to it, and it's got a nice structure for the winter. And those poplar in the far distance there, look, I can point and everything. Those poplar we struck as stems, probably that long, that a neighbour gave us, and we just chucked them in the ground, and they've made this lovely windbreak and rather nice thing to look at. We struck them in 2005, and they are that tall. It's not bad, is it? Anyway, let's go and have a quick look around the garden and see what we've got coming up. I promise you, it's not the end of the world. There are signs of spring. I hate winter. It is, you know, I'm the endless Pollyanna. Fabrizio says that all I do is say that everything's lovely, but actually secretly deep down, it's not even a very big secret. I really don't like dark mornings, dark afternoons, and just the dark coming in. So to walk around and spot signs of spring, for me, is very good for my mental health, I think. Come on, let's go and have a look. Oh, yes. Now, look here on the right. In here, these are Dutch iris. And I just had a mixed sack of them. They are white, blue, and a lovely kind of rusty colour. Anyway, there they are, popped in there. And they will do us some spring. Over here, not showing yet, is a lot of alliums. Purple Sensation, my perennial favourite, and a white one called Everest, which I love. And they will, and look, you can see where last year's iris are coming up again because I left them in. And then on the right here, this is more Sweet Rocket and Sweet William. I have some up here and some in the other patch where we just were, because I like to hedge my bets. And depending on the weather, we will have different things flowering at different times. So it's like having successional sowing. There, a little bit of spring for you. Don't panic. This woody patch here, we call the lugfall, which is an ancient word that means the edge of the forest. And as we are on the edge of the Selwood forest here, which is a very ancient forest, but it's stemming from the end of the last ice age, we thought we'd call this the lugfall. And the pines here are Monterey pines, and I don't think they should do so well, but they do. And those are the pines that I'm harvesting little bits of, not masses, for my Christmas wreaths. They smell delicious cut. So there we are, a little tour around the garden. Not an enormous amount to see, but it's all bedded down. I haven't pruned the roses yet, but I will. And the awful truth is we will do it with a hedge trimmer. And we'll probably do it this month, December. And I'm slowly mulching all my beds. I mulch with Dalefoot compost from Penrith. We're not very good at making compost here. There are lots of people out there who are really spectacular compost makers, and I'm conscious that we ought to be better at it. But whenever we have a pile of horticultural debris and I say, let's turn that and make it into lovely compost, Fabrizio says, but no, stop there, because a toad or a hedgehog or a snake or a slow worm or somebody is living in it. Anyway, our neighbour, Charles Dowding, who's about 5 miles away, is the king of compost. So I watch what he does guiltily, as we don't make our own compost. But equally, we do have all this wildlife living here. So, swings and roundabouts. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little tour. It's not a big tour because there's not an enormous amount going on. But it's always nice to see a garden, the bones of a garden in the winter, I think. When we have a really frosty or possibly a snowy morning, I'll take you out and show you in the snow. And as our plans come together, I will show you what we're going to do to rearrange the patch. It's going to look very different when it all comes together. I hope. Anyway, if any of this has been any use, please do buy me a coffee, or you've just enjoyed it. Please do buy me a coffee. The link is in the bio. The coffees support the making of these little clips, and so they are very useful. Thank you very much. And please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming out. Have a lovely Saturday evening, everybody. Strictly Come Dancing here. We know how to live. Bye.